And welcome back to the Double Boys Nice Football Podcast. Ryan, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, everybody? I speak for both of us when I say it's been 2 weeks, and neither of us could be happier to be here. Hate being away from doing podcasts. It drives me crazy. We missed 2 weeks of content. We're going to try and make up a little bit for that today with a couple recaps from weeks 8 and 9 that we missed, and then maybe get into a little bit of week 10. But yeah, no, first and foremost, sorry we missed so much time, boys, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's out there. We're ready to ride, keep it moving.
Yeah, life, this thing called life happens, work schedules stuff. So I apologize to all the fans we have from the RPO side, yards per side. Here we are. Let's dive into it. There's a couple of things I really want to talk about. Let's start with the benching of Desmond Ridder last week. So let's go into this with the notion that I'm not surprised. A lot of people had Desmond Ridder, as a breakout guy, strong, heavy draft capital usage when it came to his top tier weapons. I mean, the last 3 first-round picks between Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. I mean, that's a plethora of skill guys. A solid offensive line foundation. Is it Ridder or is it Arthur Smith? I don't know. But I want to say this. Prior to last week's benching, let's look at it. 7 turnovers in the 3 starts before that. Benched at halftime. 74 total yards passing at that point. Taylor Heinicke comes in, gets the W in that game, throws for over 180 yards and a touchdown in one half of football. Last week drew the start, almost 270 yards passing, touchdown, interception. He puts him in a chance to win that game. Josh Dobbs has an amazing game. Unfortunately, they lose by 3. It's an unfortunate situation. Not heavy draft capital invested in Desmond Ridder either. So this might have been the one chance for him to prove it, and now here we are.
Yeah. I hate to say it, I kind of had him pegged. I think we even talked about it previous to the podcast. I had a feeling that Taylor Heinicke was going to be taking over. I think he's just a better quarterback from the jump. And I get, get your young guy out there, let him improve. But, I mean, he had some good games at the beginning of the season, but like you said, those turnovers are killer. Change is always needed. Is it Arthur Smith? Maybe. Who knows? He's a fantasy terrorist, so do what you want with that information. But we'll see what Taylor Heinicke can do. I kind of trust – I don't know about you. I'll just speak for myself here, but I kind of trust, my stocks of Kyle Pitts and Drake London and Bijan Robinson more with Heinicke under center than I did with Ridder.
I trust my stocks of Jonnu Smith, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Jonnu Smith too. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, first game coming out, Jonnu and Scott Fish puts up 5 for 100 and a touchdown for me. Unfortunately, I think my Scott Fish run is probably over unless there's a fortunate luck. I'm at the 11-7 mark. 13 is the qualifier for playoffs. But this is a great preview into our next topic of what happened. I've had massive injuries in that league. I lost J.K. Dobbins within the first quarter of the game, week 1.
Yep.
Now my heavily invested round 3 QB with elite rushing upside that people don't talk about. Non-contact ACL injury, Danny Dimes.
And if the Giants season wasn't already in the dumps, it certainly is now. I don't think the Giants win another game. But yeah, no, injuries suck. There's no way around it. They're inevitable in football. It's a heavy contact sport. I don't know. You see it. I feel like more and more every year.
Yeah. I mean, the Giants' outlook is not good. So Tyrod Taylor also is.
Yeah, they don't even know if he's going to play. He's got
speculated to miss if not all the season.
Yeah.
Darren Waller's on the IR. Daniel Jones now hurt. Injuries to your wide receivers again. Wandale banged up. Parrish Campbell banged up. Okay. So the question is, what is the long-term outlook for the Giants?
I mean, here's the thing. Daniel Jones gave him this massive contract, right? Is out after next year. He just tore his ACL, so he's probably done definitely done for the rest of the season. We'll see how it heals up going into the next season. ACLs are weird, but I would imagine he'll probably be back pretty quick next year.
I mean, let's think about it. Kyler tore his around Christmas. We're going to see Kyler play supposedly this week.
Yeah.
We're looking at week 10. So what about a realistic expectation for Daniel Jones to be playing
next year?
By week 6, week 7, I would say.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It's like, do you trust Daniel Jones to come back after ACL with what? Maybe like you get out of that contract after he plays another 11 games for us. So we sit there. Well, I say the Giants sit there. We're probably going to have 2-3 wins. We're going to have a top 5 pick. How do you pass up on like a Drake May or a Caleb Williams or anything like that if like they're sitting there on the board? Caleb Williams is a little bit out of the picture, but Drake May certainly sitting there. Like, we'll see what they do.
I mean, right now you have Chicago holding down the 1 and 2. Obviously with the Panthers pick, but crazy they play each other on Thursday night. So we'll also jump into a little Week 10 preview.
Yeah,
but no, I agree with you. And to be honest with you, in this class, the 3 most coveted pieces are Caleb, Marvin, and Drake May. Yeah. Outside of the tackle out of Penn State, Okorafor, dude's an animal, by the way. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the Giant. I mean, I've never seen the game plan. This is the first projected top 10 pick that Brian Daboll and company will have as a Giants organization. But if you don't have the pick to get Drake or to get Marvin, what do you do? Because tackle doesn't make sense to me because you've already invested heavily in Andrew Thomas, who has an all-pro season already. Evan Neal, very young, hasn't worked out on the right side. I don't know. I feel like
Evan Neal sucks, dude.
I feel like I'm not seeing any effort from Evan Neal. I feel like he's just so lost in the sauce that he's just not picking up any of these gap protections, things like that. I feel like he's getting just bullied on the right side.
It's been rough all year for Neal. I'll be honest.
But we did say the same thing about Andrew Thomas in his first year as well. Right. I think there's room for growth. I just don't know what the Giants' long-term game is. I truly don't. But you love Brian Daboll. I like Brian Daboll. So here we are.
I like Daboll. I love him. I'm the number 1 fan. I said it all last year when we were winning. I can't stop now. But this gives Daboll a chance, and all these guys that are new to the Giants an opportunity to get their quarterback for their system that they want to run, which is the only way I could see them kind of moving away from Daniel Jones and going to get that future guy that they can point out and say, this is our quarterback type deal, and then kind of ride out from there. But at the end of the day, if we draft a quarterback, we still have a terrible offensive line. And the weapons are pretty abysmal. So it's even if we take that rookie quarterback, he's not exactly going into a system that's going to help him succeed in year 1, for sure.
Before we get too stuck on the Giants, I do want to say one thing too.
Sorry. Go Giants.
It has to be in the back of Saquon's mind, damn, you should have traded me. Yeah. And here we are. Let's see. So the Daniel Jones injury is significant. Desmond Ridder benching. Oh, can we do some positive things here too? We might see Kyler Murray play football in Week 10.
It's exciting for me. I get to either gloat or be horrifically wrong about Kyler Murray. Now, I'm not expecting him, first game out off ACL to be Kyler Murray, but you get a general idea of what he's going to be back to. You would hope he plays to a level above Josh.
I truly don't care because of this fact is people forget how good this dude was.
Right. Yeah.
People forget the elite athletic ability, the elite arm strength, the ability to just drop it on a dime. People just forget this. It's he's been gone from football for a year and who's Kyler Murray? Have you seen some of these trades that happen in our dynasty leagues for Kyler Murray? It's been
I've captained on it a few times myself.
It's been upsetting. It's been upsetting. People forget how crazy this dude doesn't just go first round in the MLB draft on top of being the number 1 overall pick in the NFL if you're not different, if you're not special. Granted, I know it hasn't translated to winning games like to a consistent level to like push for a championship, but also too, did we honestly like the air raid system there? Did we like the coaching schemes? Because I didn't personally. Yeah. On top of that, Hopkins was gone on the mix, and then you get Hollywood. I do like what they've done. The drafting and the trading back into the draft, like that they did with the Lions and to get Paris Johnson, things like that. Yeah. I like what they did. I do. And I think if Kyler can draw two wins, it takes him out of the Caleb sweepstakes.
We'll see what happens.
Because they only got one win.
What his intent is. I mean, you would imagine like if they're going to let him come back in week 11, that they don't mind either going forward with him or at least not taking a quarterback.
I mean, you don't trade Josh Dobbs.
Right.
You know what I mean? With, letting Kyler get the ropes back. I mean, you have Clayton Tune, but people forget that this is Kyler who just signed who signed a max contract type deal. Like that's what kind of QB this kid is. That's what kind of a talent this kid possesses. I call him a kid because he's only 25.
Yeah. And not to mention, and I've said this 100 times before, on his career, since starting as a rookie, he averages 20 points per game or more than 20 points per game every game on average for his career. So how can you not get excited about that?
I'm excited. Yeah,
so.
I don't know when to expect him to be back. I don't think this year is going to be a tell it year, kind of like the Deshaun, maybe not as bad as Deshaun Watson's second half last year.
I'll put that
but I will say this. If you don't see him using his legs early, don't be concerned because it's just one of those things. You're getting back from a huge knee injury. Like, this dude was heavy reliance on his legs on top of the fact, like, to have that elite tier. Just be, just take it easy.
Yeah.
Kyler is going to come back.
Ride it out.
And he's going to be the top 10 dynasty QB you're going to pay for. That's what it is.
You don't even have to pay for QB 10 prices. Well, not in this season. You have to pay for QB 10 prices.
You have to pay for QB 10 prices now.
You
didn't for the first 10 weeks of the year.
Hurts. You should have made the move sooner.
Hurts. Just one more performance from the QB position. CJ Stroud is that motherfucking dude. Straight up.
First of all, I'd like to apologize to CJ Stroud myself. Who cares if he's from Ohio State? Who? Not me. Me? No. See, he's balling, dude. That game this last week, bro looks elite. He looks fit for the bill.
Yeah, he does. And shout out to D'Amico Ryans because, like, on top of getting CJ Stroud, my dude got that high motor Will Anderson pick as well, trading back. People traded up to go get his guy that he wanted originally too, which was crazy. That was a great strategy there. A lot of people thought that the trading up was a little weird. I liked it.
It's a little ballsy, but
a little ballsy, yeah. I mean, on top of what we're already talking about here, CJ Stroud, 470 yards, 5 touchdown passes, game winner on the line. Tank Dell in the back of the end zone just looked beautiful. Heavy involvement from Nico, Tank Dell, and Dalton Schultz. It's just Noah Brown too. Like, who expected Noah Brown to go for 6 for 150 and a touchdown? Like, huge involvement. A lot of one-sided offensive schemes though. Not a huge heavy involvement in their run game. They don't have a lot of production coming from the running back position this year. I really would like to see them address that. But other than that, they're building something special down in Houston that people aren't talking about. Defense is getting better. They got in pieces that they wanted. Tank Dell, CJ Stroud wanted Tank Dell. Nico Collins, year 3 breakout that we were looking for. Dalton Schultz, a veteran tight end that's playing savvy football, playing good football down there. CJ Stroud looks good.
Yeah. I think the important part for the Texans now is like they have this rookie contract for what looks like their franchise quarterback for another 3 years after this year, it's only going to get better for the Texans. They have their cornerstone now. So from here,
3 years plus the franchise tag.
Plus, yeah. So they got plenty of CJ Stroud on cheap contracts. I think they're going to go out. They're going to make this team better and better. And
but I will be honest with you.
By the time it's time to sign CJ Stroud, that team's going to be good.
But I will be honest with you on this fact. Going back and looking at like the Lamar history of what we went through with him, I personally don't want CJ Stroud to get to that point. I'm trying to sign Stroud probably by year 4. Going into the franchise tag year, yeah.
3 years left, and then
because you don't want this kid to leave. This kid is something special. Right. But like now that we're talking about this doesn't leave open the fact that Bryce Young is going to be good as well in his career. I don't think when you look at this situation, it's fair to talk about because people were talking about we got it wrong. How do we know we got it wrong? How do we know? We have mid-tier weapons all across the board. Like Jonathan Mingo, I know he's young, hasn't translated into much production. Adam Thielen, we're talking about a 34-year-old wide receiver who's way past his prime. Playing well though. Fountain of Youth has found him.
Playing pretty good.
DJ Chark. We're not talking about the same DJ Chark down in Jacksonville.
You mean the one season he was successful in Jacksonville?
Yes.
Even that's
Miles Sanders. Me and you had praised Miles Sanders, or not praised, but we had talked about Miles Sanders and said that the offensive efficiency is going to hurt him drastically on the switch to Philly to Carolina. Right. And it has. It has. The only way Miles Sanders was going to be relevant was due to heavy volume. And he's not even getting it. He's got beat out by Chuba Hubbard. So let's talk about that too.
About 50-50 right now.
I will say this Houston's offensive line play is 10 times better. 10 times better than what it is, than what Carolina has. So a lot of people that are jumping on this Bryce Young bandwagon that he's not going to be good. I think you need to slow it down too, because there's way too many variances and variations that can happen in this career. They invested in Bryce Young. They're going to fix the problems.
One overall, by the way. So
right, they're going to fix the problems. So now,
I will say, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
I was going to say, I mean, is there a possibility that they think they got it or that they got it wrong? Sure.
Probably.
But it doesn't mean Bryce Young can't be good.
Yeah. I was going to say, there's a long history of quarterbacks failing in their rookie year. I mean, you can go down the list. It's more so common for them to have bad seasons compared to what CJ Stroud's doing. I mean, we haven't seen this. Herbert did it, and CJ Stroud, the only two in recent memory.
Baker Mayfield calm balling too his rookie year.
Baker Mayfield, true.
Looked good.
True. I mean, I say that, but all these are like 2-3 years apart, so it's not common for rookie quarterbacks to come out just fucking absolutely swinging. So we'll see with Bryce Young.
The most hyped QB of our generation through 28 interceptions his rookie year. That's Peyton Manning.
Yep.
I'm not comparing anybody to Peyton Manning. I'm just saying struggles happen. Then you got Big Ben who went 14-1 his rookie year. So,
well, like you said,
it happens. It happens. That's what I'm saying. Relax on the Bryce Young is too short crowd. I hate it because me and you, we had scouted Bryce Young heavily and we had really, really picked our flag there. And unfortunately, at this current moment, it doesn't look like a fun take. But I'm not giving up on my guy. We're literally 10 weeks into a rookie year with an abysmal situation. Abysmal. You know what I mean?
For what it's worth, we did have Stroud over AR.
We did have Stroud over AR.
If that's any consolation prize.
And AR, but I will say this. I will give credit when credit is due.
Yeah.
AR was averaging almost 19 fantasy points a game too. Was looking pretty solid.
He'll be a stud.
The only problem is like the way that he plays, he invites contact. He invites that tough hit. He's going to push for extra yardage. He's not afraid of anybody. He's 6'6", 245 pounds, and just a fucking athlete. But guess what? That's going to get you killed.
Yeah. For Anthony Richardson, the injury list is pretty lengthy.
It got Cam Newton killed.
Yeah.
I will never forget that Thursday night game where TJ Watt laid his ass out and he was never the same.
Yeah. We'll kind of bounce around a little bit though. We had 2 weeks we missed. Is there anybody that I know I have my guy who really disappointed the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks, honestly.
Yeah. I have one guy, and this is going to hurt to say this. My biggest disappointment is Bijan.
Especially
this man has not produced. This man has not produced a running back 1 finish since week 4.
Yeah,
and the crazy part
is Arthur Smith.
But the crazy part is, right, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Peripherals are there. 5 yards of carry. Finally got his first rushing touchdown. Multiple receiving touchdowns on the year. Heavy receiving volume at points in the season. We've seen him. We've seen the plays he's made. I don't fully blame Bijan because the peripherals are there. Is Arthur Smith taking away something special from me and really breaking my heart? Yes.
Yeah. Yep. He doesn't like
bad. It's bad when we're talking about in press game interviews Bijan's off-ball skill set.
Yeah.
We're not playing basketball, bro. We're not playing basketball. We're not talking about how you can screen for Steph or we can do high-low pick and rolls here. We're talking about football. Your best player on your offense is Bijan. You don't invest an 8th overall pick in a running back to not use him.
You also said that
raising Ty Algier as the short goal to go usage back, how impressive he is. And I just don't like the vibes.
Yeah. We say they also spent 2 top 10 picks on Kyle Pitts and Drake London, and they're also used pretty middle of the pack as well.
Yeah, I just don't like the vibes. I'm a big believer in talking to the fans that get to watch these games more than me. I'm not going to say that I've heavily invested in Falcons games all year. Frankie told me that this is the worst head coaching he's seen since Jeff Fisher. And we all know how bad Jeff Fisher is.
That's rough.
Because
he didn't say Urban Meyer.
Too short of a stint. Arthur Smith has had success in the league, though. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he's winning games. Can't take that away from him.
Fuck him.
Yeah. So, I think for most people's biggest disappointment, and including me, is certainly Cooper Kupp in the last 3 weeks. I mean, 24 targets, 8 catches, 98 yards, no touchdowns.
Who's been more of a disappointment for you, Cooper Kupp or Devontae Adams?
They kind of go hand in hand. But at the same time,
can I throw another name in there? Can I throw in one more name? Because this is also one of my guys I wanted to put on my list. What about Tony Pollard?
He's been rough too. But just to get back to the Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams thing, it's the only reason I feel like Kupp's a little bit more of a disappointment for me is we've seen Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp. Now, given Ripon started last week, that's why I included that 3 weeks ago to show that it's been consistent even with Stafford in. We've seen that connection between Stafford and Kupp. We know it works. We had yet to see a connection between Jimmy G and Devontae Adams, and things didn't really get up to the best foot between the two of them in the first place. So that's kind of the reason why I gave it to Kupp, the edge, because we've seen almost a 2,000-yard season out of Kupp. Was it a 2,000-yard season out of Kupp?
1,960.
Yeah. We saw that with Stafford, and to see that kind of deplenish in the last 3 weeks is tough, especially given the draft capital he spent on him. I mean, in redraft, he was probably, top 5?
Depending on when you picked. If you picked before the calf injury.
True.
Or soft muscle tissue injury, just depending.
Yeah.
Sure. Top 5, top 7 pick. Yeah, of course. Heavy investment in redraft leagues. Dynasty leagues, personally. Dynasty leagues,
worried about Cooper Kupp going forward? Or is it kind of just it'll work itself out?
It depends, man, because I don't know what's up with his thumb. They just brought in Carson Wentz. Obviously, yeah. I don't know if that's just to be a backup to Stafford or if that's to compete in any way. But if it's not Stafford throwing the ball, I don't know. I don't know how it plays out. I truly don't.
I think it is the McVay offense to kind of get the ball to the receivers as much as possible. We'll see what Carson Wentz can salvage. I would imagine he's going to be starting for a few weeks. I mean, Stafford's injury is on his throwing thumb, correct? That's going to take. Yes. That's the same injury Justin Fields is dealing with. He's missed what? This will be week 4 weeks.
Yeah, but now, granted, I do think that Fields had a chance to suit up if it wasn't a short week this week.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. Let's throw it out for 4 weeks. Let's just say 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
tough.
It's been tough. It's been real tough. But so here's where I'm at with it. There has to be good with the bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you talk about your guy, one of my favorite wide receivers in the league, by the way.
My boy. I own him in way too many leagues. I'm glad it's finally working out. The last 2 weeks, CeeDee Lamb has absolutely exploded onto the scene. 23 catches in 2 games, 349 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Absolute monster numbers. And I know Steven's probably going to talk Dak Prescott up on the other side. He should. But he's not getting the same thing done without CD out there in that field. Dak is looking for CD often. And not even to just look at like the past 2 weeks that we've seen with CeeDee Lamb. Going forward, the Cowboys have one of the easier wide receiver schedules fantasy-wise for the rest of the season. So I think we'll see this connection maybe not keep up at this exact pace, but I think Dak and CD may have really turned that dial the last 2 weeks.
I just want to say this. This is what happens when you run your passing schemes through your number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
CD's a dog. Absolute dog. Like you don't just get handed the number 88 in Dallas for no reason.
Yeah.
Dude's special. Dude's a special talent. I'm a huge fan. You know how huge of a fan I am. I always have been, even since his Oklahoma days. Congrats to CD. That was a tough loss. Just some boneheaded things happened there in the Dallas game. Honestly, I will say this.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think Dak and CD were the top 2 players on the field that night. Jalen had a good game, but I will say I don't think there was anybody better than Dak and CD Lamb in that game. It was a hell of a game. Just tough outcome.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys I want to talk about, but the one that stands out to me, granted, proceed with caution with this one, just due to the fact that Montgomery is now healthy. But running back 3, running back 1 finish for Jahmyr Gibbs in the last 2 weeks while Monty's been out is a huge feat itself. Both weeks averaged over 5 yards per rush. 6 in the Baltimore game, which is a tough defense to play right now. Baltimore's top 5 in points per game allowed. Rushing defense, passing defense, they were tough. Granted, I know he salvaged his day with a 27-yard touchdown run in the 4th quarter. But on top of that, let's talk about the 15 targets that he's drawn in the last 2 weeks. Huge volume.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs has played really well. This is what we had talked about with Jahmyr Gibbs. Granted, I know that Montgomery's on a 3-year contract, but I think this is what you needed to see from Dan Campbell. Like if you're Dan Campbell and you're talking about Jahmyr Gibbs, this is what you needed to see to show that he can handle a workload like this, in between the tackles type skill set, heavy receiving usage. Here we are. This is what we needed to see.
Yeah. We'll see. We've yet to see what Montgomery can do coming back. I would still imagine he's probably going to get a lot of the third down goal line situations, but
sure.
I wonder if Gibbs is kind of won that like true 50-50 split, because it wasn't even 50-50 when Montgomery.
No, it was more like 80-20, 70-30.
70. I was going to say it's more like 75-25 before Montgomery's injury. Now I think in these past couple games, Gibbs has definitely earned more than just 25-30% of the share. I think this will be a true 50-50. I think we can get to the point maybe where it was like with the Saints when it was Kamara and Mark Ingram, kind of how they ran that system. Maybe not as prolific, but I can kind of see that type of duo.
Think about it. We watched Alvin Kamara his rookie year touch the ball less than 200 times and finish as a top 5 running back. We watched Christian McCaffrey touch the ball less than 180 times and finish as a top 12 running back. It's not about – the fact of the matter is what people are forgetting to realize is David Montgomery is a good running back, good running back that plays behind a good offensive line and a good offensive scheme. He's going to look good. He's going to get involved. He's going to score. But it doesn't mean that Jahmyr Gibbs can't be usable, can't be valuable. We've seen these running backs do this. We've seen Austin Eckler finish as a top 10 running back with Melvin Gordon on the Chargers roster.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? You know what I mean? Everybody wants this heavy volume workload for Jahmyr Gibbs. He's not going to get it.
He's not going to.
That's not his size. That's not his skill set.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He had to learn how to play at an NFL game speed, NFL level. These last 2 weeks, you can see the adjustments. You can see some things changing in his run style. You can see how they're using him in the receiving game, which is what you wanted to see. And here we are. This is the kind of workload and kind of skill set that you can see from Jahmyr Gibbs. You're not going to see 26 carries like you did in week 9. You're not going to see that. You're probably going to see what you've seen in Baltimore. 11 carries, 7 catches, 6 catches. That's fine. That's great.
Okay. In a PPR, in a full PPR, that's still perfectly fine.
Sure. So. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with what I saw. He looks good. He looks really good.
Now we take that.
We take that.
Yeah. It was really, really important for him to prove himself while Montgomery was hurt. I think that's kind of what the Dynasty community was waiting for, and I think he's delivered.
Right. But that doesn't mean just because if you have David Montgomery, you sell because you've seen this from Jahmyr Gibbs. No. Hold. Montgomery is too valuable to this Lions attack. Way too valuable. Dan Campbell is going to get his running back touches for sure.
Yeah.
Since we've been talking a lot about this rookie class, before we get into our little Week 10 preview, can you answer me a question?
So
panic meter, Quentin Johnston above a 9, 10.
Are we that high already? I don't know. So young.
I'm getting there.
He's so young, man. I think last time we had this conversation, I was like a 6. I might be up towards like a 7.8. I mean, he's still so young. I don't want to say 9, 10 because that means like a 9, 10 would be like, okay, he's like an absolute bust for me. And I get it doesn't look good.
I mean, it's a good conversation because like this was the offense that I had pegged for him to be the offense for him to succeed. Kellen Moore fits his skill set, intermediate to deep routes. Justin Herbert, one of the best deep balls in the league. He just had to wait his turn. His turn came early. Mike Williams got hurt, unfortunately. Now Josh Palmer is set to miss time. He's on the IR. I mean, we're talking about targets with Gerald Everett, Keenan Allen, and him, and then obviously Eckler. But
I mean, it's Keenan and Eckler.
Okay, but when you're throwing the ball 38 times a game for Justin Herbert on average this season, you can't throw it 38 times to Eckler and Keenan. You can't do it.
This is true. No, I mean, are you up there in the 9s already for?
Yeah,
no, I guess I shouldn't say already because it looks rough.
I am. The involvement is just it's absolutely scaring me.
Yeah.
I have faith that it can pan out, but like I'll be honest with you, man, I'm getting like N'Keal Harry vibes.
It's N'Keal Harry. Throw him in the category of N'Keal Harry, Dorial Green Beckham.
I'm getting Josh Doxson and N'Keal Harry vibes.
Yeah,
bro. I really am.
Yeah,
it scares me.
Supposed to be good.
It scares me.
They were good in college, but didn't translate. Yeah.
Speaking of Josh Doxson, another TCU wide receiver, but it scares me, man. And I'm not trying to helmet scout. Because like you want to give this guy a chance.
Yeah.
But here we are.
It's a long game, but it's definitely not good. And even like a 7.8 out of 10 for the panic meters may be a little bit too low, but I like to give the wide receiver position a little bit of a break. We'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, let's jump into a little Thursday night preview. It's a barn burner, bud. It's a barn burner.
Could it get any any better than this week for Thursday Night Football? I mean,
the Panthers and the Bears, no Justin Fields, Tyson Bagent against Bryce Young.
I mean,
and the Bears own both the picks. So
I was going to say, this is, Thursday night games haven't been as bad in previous years this year. This one's going to be tough.
This is a bad game.
I don't even know. I love football. I don't know how much this game I'm going to watch. I've watched every Thursday night football game this year, down to the wire. This one might get paid a little less attention to. Tyson Bagent, I mean, what is he really going to do for me as like a viewer? I mean, really what I'm going to be looking for in this game is if Bryce Young can put things together, string something together against the Bears. Yeah. That's all you're looking for in this game.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for my guy that I had pegged as QB1 to show me some things. Like, let's limit the turnovers. He's got two multi-turnover games. That's not something I want to see. I want to see ball protection. I want to see game management, and I want to see control. I want to see if he can just string together like a QB. I'm not even asking for a QB1 finish. I'm asking for like a top 15 finish. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see the offensive line protect him. I would love for that. I would love to see Bryce Young, be protected. That's just what the things that I'm looking for here. I'm looking for maybe some Jonathan Mingo involvement. You know what I mean? I'm looking for some things that can happen with like young guys. Like I'm looking to see Roschon get some touches. He only had 2 touches last week.
I thought they believed in him. I really did. And then you see fourth string running backs getting carries. Darryston, Evans, the guy who played for Titans.
Darrington Evans.
Thank you. I can never say his name. Good Lord have mercy. But yeah, you see him getting touches over Roschon. And as a Roschon owner, heavy Roschon owner like myself, I see that I'm like, when you hear all these good things like he's got good pass pro, which is true, he does. You watch the tape, it's there.
Sure.
I would love to see some Roschon action. I haven't really seen it much this year, but I'm ready for it. And
Khalil Herbert activated off the IR, by the way.
Yep, there he goes. Back down the depth chart. But no, I was surprised to see, even with Justin Fields doubtful for this game, the Bears are still 3.5-point favorites against the Panthers.
I do, like I said, it's because it's a short week. I truly do. Fields was on the practice field this week. I do think his return is coming in week 11.
Yeah, maybe next week.
Well, Virginia Tech alum, baby, Khalil.
Bring him back, baby. Go V Tech.
If I have to pick a winner of this game, I'm going to take the better defense. Honestly, I'm going to take Carolina in this game.
I'm taking Carolina. Bagent does nothing for me.
No, I will say Carolina's defense, Brian Burns isn't playing either. Damn, who else was missing on the injury report? I did see it was Brian Burns and a DB. Well, Jeremy Chinn's already on the IR, but somebody else.
Xavier was just playing. Yeah, the only player out is that's it. Just him. Laviska.
Brian Burns. I thought I saw a DB miss practice as well.
Brian Burns isn't even on the injury report. He might be playing.
He might be. He was in the concussion protocol earlier.
So
if Brian Burns plays, then that's phenomenal. But give me Carolina. They're the better defense here. I think it's gonna be a very ugly game. I truly do.
Tough.
Like when you're looking at the matchup, you're obviously hoping that it's not an ugly game. But on top of that, you don't want sloppy football. You know what I mean? These Thursday night games have been very sloppy. So
we'll see how this game goes. The thing is, I don't think one team's going to get away from the other team, so I think it'll still be close. It's just like, is it going to be depressingly close, like a 14-10 game, or is it going to be like we can get up in the 20s?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
I do want to say one thing too. Saturday night, man, we're going to go live.
Oh, I'm strapped for Saturday. All depends though. Me and Megan trying to get something together with you and a couple other people.
Yes, we're already going.
Yeah. So
But
after that, I'm ready to roll.
We're going back full throttle. Saturday night starts it.
Saturday night starts it, baby.
Alex
might be pushing more towards 9 this time.
That's fine.
But nonetheless, we'll be back for waiver wire.
Nonetheless, I really hope we got the. I really hope that we get the. I really hope that we get the like involvement like we did 2 weeks ago. That shit was fun. That was a lot of fun.
No.
Other than that, Alex, Brett, you guys killing on your start sits every week. We're back. We'll see you Saturday night, boys.
See you Saturday, boys.
See you
Thanks
Saturday.
for taking over where we were going.
On top of that, I think that wraps it up for our recap, man. It was a really fun recap, man. It was great to be back.
Yep.
Anything you want to say to people?
Yeah, no. We just kind of touched on it. We'll be back Saturday for the Star Sit. We'll have Steven. Me myself might even post something out there. Get your Start Sit on Twitter. Our ats are right below. Follow us on there. Hit us up for any advice you need. We are here for you guys as our sole purpose. We love doing it. That's why we do this, man. Especially people new to Dynasty. If you're new out there and you need advice, we're your guys. Try to stay away from just the hive, like we like to call like a hive mind that Dynasty football is. We fall into such a redraft mindset during the season. I missed like the Dynasty approach, like the questions. Like I missed that. I do miss that because that's strictly mostly all I play, except for some of these charity events and these best ball stuff that we do. But man, if you got a good Dynasty question, can you please like let me know? Hit us up, baby. That was what we started our grind on, and I think in the off season we succeed even more because we can kind of look more towards Dynasty. God, I miss it. We'll get back, baby. We'll get back. Yeah, I'm just saying. But I was so happy to be back, man. It's been such a fun night. We appreciate you guys again. RPO, check out our latest article. I wrote it, and I'm going to tell you, week 10 for the waiver wire previews, it's so hard to write because I don't like using people multiple times when it comes to these waiver wire articles. I try to avoid that. I think we've only done it one time. One time. And that was only because there was like a 5-week gap in between. Right. So and I know week 9 for Ryan, there was heavy bye weeks, and there's heavy bye weeks in week 10. It was rough, but I think I pulled it off. Yeah. Well, here's the thing is like, just to the people out there, we hope you've been paying attention to the waiver wires we've been throwing at you for the past 10 weeks on RPO.com, RPOfootball.com. We've not to like toot our own horn, but we've kind of knocked it out of the park. Like most of the guys that are still being added today were on our waiver wire 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. Right. So and you also see kind of people gone through the best of the waivers this year. Right. And you also see people do waivers a lot different than we do. You see people who have like high priority waivers, people that probably aren't even on waivers anymore that were probably picked up in like week 3, week 4 that are still being talked about in week 10. Then you have lower priority waivers like how they're going to spend their fab. And like the thing is this, you have to find these gems early. Before it's too late. Yeah. Right. Before it's too late. I mean, like it is what it is. But here we are. We have been very original about it, and we have tried to not write about a person more than once. Yeah. And it's tough because like, I think, especially for me, and I speak for you too, when we're writing this, is like we've only had one person we've written about, which was Rashee Rice, that was over the 50% mark. Everybody else this whole season has been under 50% or less, way less normally than usual. Normally, the guys that are on our waiver wire are at like 15 to 30%, and we've done great this year. So hopefully next year, if we're still be kicking on the waiver wire, tune in next year. I think we're past the best of the waiver ads. I do want to say this too.
IDP, they have it so easy when they write their waiver wire additions. So easy. Oh my God.
I don't want to say that. That's not fair to them. But
bro, they get to cover DB, safeties, linebackers, edge rushers, D tackles. Stop it. It's so easy for them, and they're so good at what they do. It irritates
so
me.
good. Yeah, they're so good.
But other than that, Ryan, anything you want to say before we get out of here, man?
Yeah, I did my spiel. I'm just glad y'all come out, give us a chance, give us a platform. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Alex, for giving us the opportunity to be out here, do our thing. Forever grateful to you guys, and especially grateful to the fans. Anybody that's listening, thank you so much.
Much love, everybody. We were talking about this all day. We're excited to be back. It was a great time. 2 weeks, like I said, life, work schedules, things happen. We're back. Strap in Saturday night. We will see you guys. Other than that, that's it.
Y'all take it easy.
Hey, and we're out.